Nobody looked down on Orbital Station Farlight 9. That was the unspoken rule. The upper decks belonged to merchants and diplomats and species who could afford to look up. The lower decks belonged to everyone else. Kiri belonged to the lowest deck of all. She dragged her cleaning cart through Cargo Bay 14, her small feet shuffling against the metal floor. Above her, 3 Velith workers glided past on silver wings, carrying supply crates between platforms. They did not look at her. They never did. The Velith were a proud species. Their wings were everything. Flight meant freedom, status, worth. A Velith who could not fly was not truly Velith at all. Kiri's wings hung against her back like crumpled paper. They had never grown right. The bones were twisted, the membranes thin and torn. She had tried to fly once, when she was young and stupid and full of hope. She had fallen 3 stories and broken her arm. She did not try anymore. The cleaning cart squeaked as she pushed it toward the waste bins. Her job was simple: collect garbage, mop floors, stay invisible. The station paid her barely enough to rent a sleeping pod in Section 19, where the air recyclers hummed so loud she could not hear herself think that IT was fine. She did not want to think anyway. She was emptying a bin when the shadow fell over her. Kiri froze. She knew that shadow. Every small creature on the lower decks knew that shadow. Grull stepped into the light first. He was Draxon, a reptilian species built like a walking tank. His scales were dark green, his eyes yellow and hungry. 2 more Draxon followed him. Brax was shorter but wider, with scars across his snout. Torv was the tallest, thin and mean, with a tail that twitched when he was excited. They were always excited when they found someone alone. "Little bird," Grull said. His voice was like gravel scraping against metal. "We missed you last cycle. You forgot to pay your tax." Kiri pressed herself against the waste bin. "I do not have credits. I paid everything to the pod rental." "That sounds like a you problem." Brax cracked his knuckles. The sound echoed through the empty bay. "Wing tax is wing tax. All Velith pay. I cannot fly. I do not use the air corridors. The tax does not apply to me." Torv laughed. It was not a nice laugh. Listen to her. She thinks rules matter down here. Grull stepped closer. He smelled like engine grease and old meat. "Here is how this works, little broken bird. You pay us, or we take payment in other ways. Your choice." Kiri looked around desperately. The cargo bay was empty. The other Velith had flown away. The maintenance workers had gone on break. There was nobody. There was never anybody. "Please," she whispered. "I have nothing." "You have those sad little wings," Torv said. "Maybe we should fix them for you. Tear them off so you stop pretending to be a real Velith." Kiri ran. She made it 3 steps before Brax caught her. His claws dug into her shoulder and spun her around. She hit the floor hard, her cleaning supplies scattering across the deck. "Wrong choice," Grull said. They dragged her into a maintenance corridor away from the cameras. Kiri struggled, but she weighed nothing compared to them. She was small even for a Velith, and Velith were not a large species to begin with. Grull grabbed her right wing and twisted. Pain exploded through her body. She screamed, but Torv clamped a claw over her mouth. "Quiet, little bird. No one cares about your noise. No one cares about you at all." He was right. That was the worst part. He was completely right. The station intercom crackled to life. "Attention, all personnel. Human military transport Sierra 7 now docking in Base 7. Please provide standard clearance for Earth Expeditionary Forces." Grull paused. His grip on her wing loosened slightly. "Humans? Here. New species," Brax said. "Joined the galactic community maybe 10 cycles ago. Soft things. Came from some medium planet, nothing special. I heard they have no claws," Torv added. "No scales. No natural weapons at all. Prey species playing at being people." Grull grinned. His teeth were yellow and sharp. "Good. Then they will not interfere with our business." He twisted Kiri's wing again. "Now, where were we?" Kiri closed her eyes. She had stopped struggling. There was no point. There was never any point. She wondered if anyone would notice when she disappeared. She wondered if anyone would care. Somewhere in Base 7, 5 humans were stepping off their ship. They wore gray uniforms and carried weapons on their hips. Their leader, a woman with dark hair and calm eyes, looked around the station with quiet interest. None of them knew about the small broken alien being hurt 3 corridors away. Not yet. But humans had a strange talent. A talent that the galaxy had not yet learned to respect. They noticed things, and they never, ever walked away. Sergeant Rosa Delgado had seen many space stations in her 3 years with Earth Expeditionary Forces. She had learned that they all smelled the same: recycled air, metal, and the sweat of 100 different species trying to share the same corridors. Farlight 9 smelled like trouble. She led her team through Base 7, checking exits and counting security cameras out of habit. Behind her walked Corporal Yuki Tanaka, their medic, whose eyes never stopped moving. Private First Class Samuel Adeyemi followed, a mountain of a man who made the Draxon dock workers step aside. Specialist Anika Lindgren tapped at her wrist computer, mapping the station layout. Private Ben Okonkwo brought up the rear, young and eager and too smart for his own good. Shore leave protocols, Rosa said. 4 hours. Stay in pairs. Do not start any interstellar incidents. Define incident, Ben said. If I have to write a report about it, it is an incident. They passed through the customs checkpoint. The station security officer, a tall insectoid creature, scanned their credentials with obvious boredom. Humans were still new to galactic society. Nobody considered them a threat. Rosa preferred it that way. Surprises were useful. The team split at the main corridor. Yuki and Anika headed toward the medical supply vendors. Samuel wanted to check out the food court. Ben was supposed to go with him. Instead, Ben stopped walking. Sarge, he said quietly. 3 o'clock. Maintenance corridor. Rosa turned her head slightly. She saw nothing at first. Then she heard it. A muffled sound. Something between a scream and a whimper, cut short. Probably none of our business, she said. Probably not, Ben agreed. They both started walking toward the sound anyway. The corridor was dim. Station maintenance had not bothered to fix the lighting down here. Rosa counted 3 large figures and 1 small one pressed against the wall. The small one had wings. Broken wings, folded wrong against a thin body. One of the large figures was twisting those wings. Rosa felt something cold settle in her chest. It was not anger. Anger was hot and messy and made people stupid. This was something older. Something human. Ben, get Samuel. Now. Ben disappeared back toward the main corridor. Rosa kept walking. The 3 reptilians did not notice her until she was 5 meters away. The biggest one turned his head. His yellow eyes blinked with confusion. What is this? He said. Pink skin? You are lost, soft thing. This area is not for tourists. I am not a tourist. Rosa kept her voice calm. Pleasant, even. I am Sergeant Rosa Delgado, Earth Expeditionary Forces. What are you doing to that person? The reptilian laughed. The other 2 joined him. It was an ugly sound. This is not a person. This is a defective. A broken Velith who cannot even fly. We are teaching it a lesson about paying debts. She does not look like she wants to be taught. What she wants does not matter. The reptilian stepped toward Rosa. He was almost twice her height. His muscles were thick under his scales. His claws looked sharp enough to cut metal. What you want does not matter either. Walk away, little human. This is Draxon business. Rosa looked past him at the small alien. She saw fear. She saw pain. She saw something else too. Resignation. The look of someone who had given up expecting help. Rosa had seen that look before. On Earth. In places where the strong preyed on the weak because they could. She had joined the military specifically to do something about that look. I am going to ask once, Rosa said. Let her go. The reptilian's tail twitched with amusement. Or what? Heavy footsteps echoed behind Rosa. Samuel and Ben appeared at the corridor entrance. Samuel was not running. He did not need to. His presence alone changed the mathematics of the situation. Or we will have a problem, Rosa said. The reptilian looked at Samuel. Look back at Rosa. He did not seem worried. 3 of us, he said. 3 of you. We are Draxon. We are born warriors. You are humans. You have no claws, no scales, no natural weapons. Your species is soft. You are right, Rosa said. We are soft. We had to learn how to be hard. The reptilian swung at her. Rosa caught his fist. For a moment, nothing moved. The reptilian stared at his trapped hand. His yellow eyes went wide. Lesson 1, Rosa said quietly. Humans do not need claws. We have something better. She twisted. The sound of breaking bone echoed through the corridor. The reptilian screamed. Behind her, Samuel was already moving toward the other 2. The fight lasted 12 seconds. When it was over, 3 Draxon lay groaning on the floor. Rosa stood over them, breathing normally. She had not even broken a sweat. The small alien with broken wings stared at her like she was looking at a ghost. "It is okay," Rosa said gently. "You are safe now." The alien did not seem to believe her. Rosa did not blame her. In her experience, the ones who needed saving the most were always the ones who had stopped believing in rescue. But humans were stubborn about these things. They never left anyone behind. Grull had fought many species in his 40 cycles of life. He had killed Medhani twice his size. He had broken the shells of Krovic warriors. He had never, not once, lost a fight to prey. Now he lay on the cold floor with his arm bent the wrong way, and a small human woman stood over him like it was nothing. "You broke my arm," he gasped. "You broke my arm." "Yes," the woman said. She did not sound sorry. The other human, the big one, had put Brax and Torv down just as fast. Brax was unconscious. Torv was awake but crying, his tail crushed under a heavy boot. "This is impossible," Grull said. "Humans are soft. You have no natural weapons. You are from a medium world, a safe world." The woman crouched beside him. Her eyes were brown and calm and utterly without mercy. "You made a mistake," she said. "Everyone makes this mistake about humans. They look at us and see soft skin, small teeth, no claws. They think we are weak because we do not look dangerous." She grabbed his broken arm. Grull screamed. "But here's the truth. Humans come from a world that tried to kill us every single day. The gravity crushes bones. The sun gives cancer. The water is full of poison. The air carries disease. Every animal, every plant, every microbe on our planet evolved to destroy us." She leaned closer. "We survived anyway. We did not just survive. We conquered. We became the apex predators of a death world. And we did it without claws, without scales, without venom or armor or size. We did it with this." She tapped her head. "Our brains, our tools, our ability to work together and never, ever give up. You think we are soft because we look soft. But we are the hardest species in the galaxy. We just hide it well." Footsteps echoed from the main corridor. Station security arrived in a rush of clicking limbs and flashing lights. The lead officer was a Medhani named Paulax, tall and thin with compound eyes that reflected the dim lighting. "What happened here?" Paulax demanded. "These three attacked a civilian," Rosa said, standing up. "We intervened." Paulax looked at the groaning Draxon, then at the small Velith still pressed against the wall, then at the humans who had somehow defeated 3 Draxon warriors without taking a scratch. "The Draxon are connected to the Trade Guild," Paulax said carefully. "There will be complications. There always are. The Velith is a defective. She has no status, no family, no guild protection. Officially, she does not matter." Rosa's jaw tightened. The young human behind her, the one called Ben, made an angry sound. "She matters to us," Rosa said. Paulax's compound eyes blinked rapidly. This was not the response he expected. "You do not understand. The Trade Guild has influence. They will demand compensation. They will file charges. Then we will file countercharges. Assault, extortion, harassment. My medic will document every injury on that civilian. We have the footage from my team's body cameras. We have witnesses. But she is just a defective. She is a person." Rosa's voice was hard now. "Where I come from, that is enough." Corporal Tanaka had moved to the Velith while the others talked. She knelt beside the small alien, her medical scanner humming quietly. "Wing damage is severe," Yuki reported. "Old injuries and new. Bruising on her shoulders. Signs of repeated trauma. This was not the first time." "Of course not," Ben muttered. "Bullies never stop at once." Rosa nodded. "Corporal, can you move her?" "Yes, but she should come to our ship. Station Medical will not prioritize her." "Because she is defective," Paulax said again, as if repetition would make the humans understand. "Because your station has failed her," Rosa corrected. "We will take her. She will receive treatment on our vessel. And if anyone from the Trade Guild has a problem with that, they can discuss it with Earth Expeditionary Command." Paulax hesitated. He was clearly trying to calculate the political cost of this situation. Humans were new to the galactic community. Nobody knew how much trouble they could cause. But looking at the broken Draxon on the floor, Paulax was starting to guess. "Take her," he said finally. "But this is not over." "It never is," Rosa agreed. Samuel lifted the small Velith gently. She weighed almost nothing in his arms. Her broken wings trembled against his chest. "What is your name?" he asked softly. The Velith stared at him with huge silver eyes. She had never been held gently before. She did not know how to react. Kiri, she whispered. My name is Kiri. Kiri, Samuel repeated. That is a good name. You are safe now, Kiri. We have you. She did not believe him. How could she? Safety was a concept for other people. People with working wings and guild connections and families who cared. But as the humans carried her away from the corridor where she had expected to die, Kiri felt something she had not felt in years, hope. It was small and fragile and probably stupid. But it was there, and for now, that was enough. Kiri woke up warm. That was the first wrong thing. Her sleeping pod on Section 19 was never warm. The heating coils had broken 2 cycles ago, and nobody bothered to fix them. The second wrong thing was the softness beneath her. She was lying on something padded, something that supported her twisted wings without pressing against the damaged bones. The third wrong thing was the smell. Clean air. Real clean air, not the recycled station atmosphere that always carried hints of exhaust and other people's meals. Kiri opened her eyes slowly. She was in a small room with white walls and humming machines. A medical bay, but not the station medical center, where she had once waited 6 hours for someone to look at a broken finger that a human sat beside her bed. Kiri recognized her from before. The one with gentle hands who had scanned her injuries. The medic. Hello, Kiri. The human smiled. My name is Yuki. How are you feeling? Kiri tried to sit up. Pain flashed through her wing, and she gasped. Easy, Yuki said, helping her back down. Your wing has new damage on top of old damage. You need rest. Where am I? Our ship. The transport Sierra 7. You are safe here. Safe. There was that word again. Kiri did not trust that word. Why? She asked. Yuki tilted her head. Why what? Why did you help me? Why did you bring me here? Why do you care what happens to a defective Velith? The question seemed to confuse Yuki. Her forehead wrinkled in a way that Kiri found strangely endearing. Because you were hurt, Yuki said. Because you needed help. What other reason would we need? I have no status. No guild. No family. I am worth nothing to anyone. Helping me gains you nothing. Yuki was quiet for a moment. Then she reached out and took Kiri's small hand in her own. On Earth, she said, we have a saying. The measure of a society is how it treats its weakest members. We do not help people because of what we can gain. We help because helping is right. Because every person has value, regardless of what they can do or who they know. Kiri stared at her. These words made no sense. They went against everything she had learned about the galaxy. The door opened. The leader walked in. Rosa, Kiri remembered. The one who had broken Grull's arm like it was nothing. She is awake, Rosa observed. Good. How is she? Stable, Yuki reported. But she has years of untreated injuries. Malnutrition. Stress damage. She has been surviving, not living. Rosa nodded grimly. She pulled a chair close and sat down, putting herself at Kiri's eye level. Kiri, I want you to understand something. What happened to you was wrong. The way you have been treated your whole life was wrong. You did not deserve any of it. I am defective, Kiri said automatically. My wings do not work. Among the Velith, that means I am less than nothing. The Velith are wrong. Rosa's voice was firm. Where I come from, many people have bodies that work differently. Missing limbs, damaged senses, conditions that make certain things harder. We do not throw those people away. We adapt. We build tools and systems to help them. We recognize that a person's value is not determined by their body. Kiri felt something hot behind her eyes. She did not want to cry in front of these strange humans. She had learned long ago that crying only made things worse, but the tears came anyway. I do not understand, she whispered. No one has ever said these things to me. No one has ever treated me like I matter. Then everyone you have met before was wrong, Rosa said simply. You matter, Kiri. You matter because you are alive. You matter because you are a thinking, feeling being with hopes and fears and dreams. That is enough. That will always be enough. The door opened again. The big human, Samuel, stood in the doorway. He carried a tray with food on it. I did not know what Velith eat, he said apologetically. So I brought options. There is fruit and grain and protein paste. If none of this works, we can try something else. He had brought her food. This giant warrior who could crush Draxon with his bare hands had brought her food and was worried about whether she would like it. Kiri broke. She sobbed. Great heaving sobs that shook her tiny body and made her damaged wings tremble. All the years of being ignored and hurt and treated like garbage came pouring out of her. Rosa held her. The sergeant of Earth Expeditionary Forces, the woman who had taught 3 Draxen what true danger looked like, held a broken alien and let her cry. "It is okay," Rosa murmured. "You are not alone anymore. We have you." And for the first time in her life, Kiri believed it. She was not alone. These impossible, soft, terrifying humans had decided she was worth protecting. And humans, she was beginning to learn, never abandon the people they chose to protect. Never. High Factor Morvex of the Draxen Trade Guild did not like surprises. He had built his career on eliminating surprises. He knew who had power, who had money, who had secrets, and how to use all 3. When he received word that 3 guild members had been hospitalized by humans, he assumed there had been a mistake. Humans were new to galactic society, soft creatures from an unremarkable world. They could not possibly have defeated Draxen warriors in combat. Then he saw the medical reports that Grull's arm had been broken in 2 places. Brax had a concussion and 3 cracked ribs. Torf's tail was so badly damaged that it might never heal properly. All from humans. Unarmed humans. Morvex did not like this surprise at all that he boarded the human transport with 2 bodyguards, expecting to find frightened primitives ready to apologize. Instead, he found a crew going about their duties calmly. They looked at him without fear. The sergeant met him in the cargo bay. She was smaller than he expected. Dark hair, brown eyes, a body that looked soft compared to Draxen scales. But her eyes were not soft. Her eyes were the eyes of a predator. "High Factor Morvex," she said. "I have been expecting you. You know who I am. Good. Then you know the power of the Trade Guild. Your soldiers assaulted 3 guild members. You are harboring a debtor who owes guild taxes. I am here to collect what is owed." The sergeant did not flinch. "Your guild members attacked an innocent civilian. We have evidence. Body camera footage, medical scans, witness statements. They will face charges." Morvex laughed. It was his most intimidating laugh, perfected over decades of negotiations. "Charges? For disciplining a defective? You do not understand how the galaxy works, human. The Velith has no protection, no status, no one to speak for her. She is nothing. She is under human protection now." The words hung in the air. Morvex felt his bodyguards shift behind him. This was not going according to plan. "Human protection," he repeated slowly. "You are claiming a defective alien? A broken thing that even her own species discarded? Her name is Kiri. And yes, Earth Expeditionary Forces formally recognizes her as a protected individual. Any action against her will be considered an action against us." Morvex studied the human carefully. She was not bluffing. She actually meant this. These strange creatures had actually adopted an alien nobody wanted. "This is insanity," he said. "What could you possibly gain from protecting her?" "Nothing," the sergeant admitted. "We gain nothing. We do it because it is right." "Right." The word tasted strange in Morvex's mouth. What does right have to do with anything? Power matters. Profit matters. Status matters. Right is a fantasy for children. The sergeant smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "Let me explain something about humans," she said. We remember. We remember kindness, and we remember cruelty. We remember for generations. The species that helped us when we were new to the stars will have friends among humans forever. The species that hurt us will have enemies among humans forever." She stepped closer. Morvex's bodyguards tensed. "The Trade Guild can make trouble for us. I do not doubt that. But humans make trouble too. We are very, very good at making trouble. And we hold grudges longer than any species you have ever met. Is that a threat? It is information. You can use it however you like." Morvex considered his options. The guild was powerful. Humans were new and weak and few in number. Logically, he should crush them. Make an example. But there was something in the sergeant's eyes that made him hesitate. A certainty. A willingness to fight that went beyond reason. He had seen that look before. In species that refused to surrender, even when surrender was the only smart choice. Species that would burn their own ships before letting enemies capture them. Species that preferred death to defeat. Those species were dangerous. Not because they were strong, because they could not be controlled. "This is not over," Morvex said finally. "It never is," the sergeant agreed. "But for now, you will leave. And you will spread the word to your guild. Kiri is protected. Humans protect their own. And anyone who hurts what we protect will answer to us." Morvex turned and left. His bodyguards followed, confused. They had expected violence. They had expected the humans to back down. They did not understand. Morvex understood. He had been in the power business long enough to recognize a shift when he saw one. Something had changed today. The humans had planted a flag, and the galaxy would have to decide how to respond. Back on the transport, Rosa watched the Draxon shuttle depart. Ben stood beside her. "Think he will cause more trouble?" Ben asked. "Probably," Rosa said. "But not right away. He is smart enough to be scared." "Scared of us?" Rosa smiled. "Scared of what we represent. A species that protects strangers just because they need protecting. That is unpredictable. Unpredictable is dangerous. Is that a good thing?" Rosa thought of Kiri, sleeping safely in the medical bay. A broken girl who had finally found shelter. "Yes," she said. "It is a very good thing." 3 months changed everything. Kiri walked through the corridors of Farlight, 9 with her head held high. Her wings still did not work. They would never work. But she had stopped being ashamed of them. She wore a translator headset now, the humankind that wrapped around her large ears. Her job was communications assistant for the Earth Expeditionary Garrison. Her species had exceptional hearing, and the humans had recognized that immediately. "Kiri," Rosa's voice crackled through her earpiece. "We are in Section 8. Any movement in the lower decks?" Kiri listened. She could hear footsteps 4 corridors away, voices in maintenance tunnels, the hum of machinery and the whisper of air recyclers. 2 Methani merchants heading toward Cargo Bay 3, she reported. 1 Draxon, alone, moving quickly through Corridor 12. "Sounds nervous." "Good. Keep monitoring. We will check out Section 12 after this patrol." Kiri smiled. She was useful. She was valued. She was part of something. The humans had given her that. Word had spread through the station after the Trade Guild confrontation. The humans had adopted a defective. The humans had stood up to Morvex. The humans protected strangers who had nothing to offer and returned at first. The other species did not know what to make of it. Charity without profit motive did not compute. There had to be an angle. There had to be something the humans wanted. But there was nothing. The humans simply believed that protecting the weak was right. It was coded into their culture, their laws, their very identity. They could not walk past someone in trouble any more than they could stop breathing. And slowly, other outcasts started to appear at the human sector. A Krovik with a shattered shell, cast out by her family for bringing shame. A young Methani born without his species' natural glow, considered cursed. A Draxon with a stunted tail, the same condition that had made Torv mock others to feel powerful about himself. That Rosa's team took them all in. The garrison had become something more than a military outpost. It had become a sanctuary, a place where the broken and discarded could find shelter. Today, a new arrival sat in the waiting area outside the human medical bay. A young Draxon with dull scales and nervous eyes. His tail was short and twisted, ending in a stub instead of the proud fan that Draxon males usually displayed. Kiri recognized the fear in his posture. She had worn that same fear for most of her life. "What is your name?" she asked gently. The young Draxon flinched. "Rug," he whispered. "I am called Rug. I heard that the humans help people like us. People who are wrong. Is it true?" "It is true. But why?" "We are Draxon. My people have been cruel to them. Why would they help me?" Kiri sat beside him. Her broken wings brushed against the chair back. "Because humans do not see species," she said. "They see people. They see someone hurt, and they want to help. It is who they are." She led Rug to meet Rosa. The sergeant smiled at the nervous young alien and offered her hand in the human gesture of greeting. "Welcome, Rug," she said. "You are safe here." Rug burst into tears. Kiri understood completely. Later that evening, Kiri stood at a viewport on the station's outer ring. A Velith transport was passing by, its silver hull catching the light of distant stars. She could see Velith figures gliding past the ship's windows. Once, she would have felt envy, despair, a desperate longing to be like them, to fly, to belong. Now she felt nothing but peace. The Velith had thrown her away. They had decided her broken wings made her worthless. They had been wrong. She had found her people. Not the species she was born into, but the family she had chosen. Humans who valued her for her mind and her heart and her skills, not for wings that would never carry her. Footsteps approached. Rosa joined her at the viewport. "Beautiful view," Rosa said. "It is," Kiri agreed. I never appreciated it before. I was too busy surviving to see beauty. And now, Kiri turned to look at the woman who had saved her life. The small, soft human who had broken a Draxan warrior's arm without breaking a sweat. The sergeant who had stood against a trade guild and declared that one defective alien was worth protecting. Now I see everything, Kiri said. Thank you, Rosa, for all of it. Rosa put a hand on Kiri's shoulder. You do not need to thank us. You are family now. Family protects each other. The patrol call came through Kiri's headset. Ben's voice, young and eager. Kiri, we have got 3 lost younglings in Section 15. Looks like they wandered away from their parents. Kiri smiled and touched her earpiece. On it. Sergeant, you have 3 lost younglings in Section 15. They need directions home. Rosa laughed softly. On our way. They walked together toward the lower decks. A human sergeant and a broken Velith, side by side that Kiri's wings would never let her fly. But she did not need wings anymore. She had found something better. She had found humans, and humans would carry her anywhere she needed to go.